to Homestead Reptile. Today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Blue River Diet. Now, I I've never bought the brand. I'm not going to buy the brand after doing my research on it and looking at the ingredients and hearing what other people are talking about it. I just don't want to feed my collection on a piece of worthless food. Now, I have no affiliations to it. I'm coming at it in a very neutral space because no dog in this game, no bones in this fight. I'm coming at it very, very neutral. So I watched their documentary on New Caledonia. I subscribed to their Instagram because I wanted to keep track of when they were going to release it to the United States. And I was planning to get the food, but now I'm definitely not going to get this food. So a few things have left a bad taste in my mouth. So the advertisement for Blue River Diet was really good. It got a lot of people in the U.S. interested in this food. And they did that little mini documentary. They went to New Caledonia. They were going to look to see what they actually ate in the wild. Now, it was only a 14-day trip, so you can only do so much. But they did notice, and there are actual, food studies on what they eat in the wild. And crested geckos eat a ton of protein. That they found that they ate a lot of insects. They ate a lot of protein, animal-based protein, not plant-based protein. So there's only one of their diets that has insects in it. All the others do not. So they're pretty much vegetarian diets for your crested gecko. So fruit, soy protein, and no insects. So soy protein and animal-based protein are two different proteins. They're both proteins, but they interact very differently. What one animal can digest, a plant-based protein, another animal that is more carnivorous or omnivorous might not be able to get the same benefits from a plant-based protein. Think of it like a cat. So your cat is not going to be able to get the same benefits from a soy protein that it is going to get from a animal protein. Think of a bear. Bears are omnivores, but they still need both plant and animal protein. They're not completely vegetarians. They still need meat protein. Crested geckos are also in that category. They are omnivores. They can have plant-based proteins, mostly fruit. Now, fruit doesn't have a lot of protein, but they don't really eat other plants. They get that protein source because their fruit naturally lacks protein from insects. Now, I don't agree with just having soy as your main source of protein. I want insect or some sort of animal protein to be in the gecko's diet, to be a complete diet. I personally think if the diet is just soy as the protein, it's not a complete diet. It's a treat diet. It's like a junk food diet. It's sugary. It's sweet. It's junk. So again, I would not use it as a complete diet, and I personally wouldn't use this diet at all. I think you'd be better off just getting some freeze-dried apples or some freeze-dried fruits, crushing it up for your gecko, and just letting your gecko eat it, or just getting a fresh fruit, blending it into their food, and letting them have a good time with it. I think you'd be better off with that than getting that bag of food. So their reason for using soy, and it's on their website, is they believe animal or insect protein leads to overconsumption of food, which leads to obesity. Now, I don't think I've ever seen a crested gecko that has solely gotten fat off of eating insect protein. Now, it's kind of funny because they say it leads to overconsumption of food. Most of the U.S. keepers have been complaining that their geckos won't even touch it. So I guess it is stopping obesity because the geckos won't even want to eat it. Now, obesity is not necessarily on the behalf of the food. It's on the behalf of the owner. So don't overfeed your geckos. You can make any pet fat. There are good foods and there are bad foods, but you control what they eat, especially a crested gecko. Just don't overfeed them, and they won't get obese. I've never had an obese gecko. Just don't overfeed them. So again, soy is a byproduct. It is much cheaper, much more affordable to use that as an ingredient than insect protein. So I think it's in there because it's a cheap ingredient. I think it has almost no benefits for your crested gecko. It's a filler. It's a cheap ingredient. That's just my personal opinion. Um, there's also crude oil in the food. So I just thought that was weird. I don't know, crude oils. So that's also weird. But again, it is what it is. That's one of those things. So the reviews on this food a year ago, on the European market, a lot of people were complaining about black spots in the food, and I'll post pictures of this and the replies to this. Black spots, swelling of the gecko's face, allergic reactions to the food. I have never heard of a food giving crested geckos allergic reactions. And again, we don't have, this is hearsay. This is what people are complaining about, but keep it in mind. Um, that's what these people were complaining about. So in the United States, we haven't seen this, but again, there's not a ton of people that are using this food at the moment. Mostly the complaints here are the geckos won't eat it, and people don't like the silicone packages in the food because people can't find them easily, and they get blended up in the diet, especially if you're feeding a large collection. So right now, I would put this food at Lagarde level of not being edible. The geckos don't like it. Now, Lagarde's food is actually not that bad, the ingredients wise. They're pretty good. But the geckos here just aren't liking it. And I don't really understand why. The geckos in Europe, a lot of people are saying their geckos loved it and they're eating it. But here in the United States, our collections just aren't eating it. And again, I'm going to leave this up to you to think about if you want to get it or not. I personally, my recommendation would not to risk this food. Now, it's a new food, it's a new brand, and it would honestly suck if something happened to your pet because it ate this new brand of food. So you're going to be the guinea pigs with this new food. Pangea and Rapashi have at least have a reputation to back up. This food does not. It is what it is. If this was interesting to you, like and subscribe, leave a comment, and again, it's a new food. You have to be careful. Anything new that comes out into the community, I always say don't be the first ones to try it. But again, like and subscribe, leave a comment.